Hey, what's going on, y'all? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try and pull my partner in here to go live with me. And I'm sorry, y'all. Still haven't gotten my angles right. I'm like on 4 phones right now. And my TikTok is looking crazy and it's on pause, but I'm not even gonna worry about it right now. So let me pull my friend in. I'm gonna pull him in from Facebook and Instagram. So let me try to add him on Facebook real quick. Add. Okay, it says it's adding, and let me see if I can get him on Instagram real quick. Hey, Richard. How you doing? All right, let me see if I can get you on Instagram. Do you have your phone for Instagram?
Yep, I got my Instagram up.
Okay, so let me see. What's your name on Instagram?
It's going to be BRich_KO.
Be Rich. Okay, here we go. All right, just sent you an invite. Let me know if you get it.
Let me see.
Hey, YouTube. My TikTok keep pausing. I don't know what's up with that. This is only my second time going live on TikTok, so I really don't know what I'm doing on TikTok, but
I didn't see the invite for Instagram, but I requested to join. Did you see that?
let me see if I can find a request. I see that you waved. Let me see. Accept. Let's see if you come up now. You see that I accepted it?
You accepted it?
Uh-huh.
So we should be connected. This is my first time doing it on Instagram, so this is new to me on Instagram.
It says something about you were unable. Let me try again. Let me accept.
Okay. It says I accepted your request to join. Okay, it's coming.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
There we go. Uh-oh. I got you on 2 cameras now. For some reason, I can't see you, though.
Let me see what's going on with my camera. Hold on.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
I had the camera the wrong way. My bad.
There you go.
There we go. All right, cool.
Hope it's not too bad of an echo.
I guess I got to turn my Instagram down.
Okay.
We still got an echo? Let me turn my Instagram down a little bit. You might have to turn your Instagram down.
I might have to. Let me see. Okay. Sounds like it's gone now.
Okay, that's better.
Is that good on your end?
Yeah, that's good on my end too.
Okay, good.
Alrighty.
All right, so let's get into it.
Let's get started. I do have a list of questions for you.
For me?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you always surprise me every time we do?
You know I come with my questions.
I am not prepared.
You'll be all right. Alright, so first and foremost, before we get started, I just want to let everyone know that myself and Tanya will be hosting ownership presentation, and it's going to be Saturday, July the 30th, and it's going to be at the Inn, 1400 Common Oaks Drive in Raleigh, North Carolina, on Saturday, July the 30th. And this event is free and it's open to the public. You do not have to sign up. I received a couple questions about signing up. You don't have to sign up. You can just walk in, and we're going to be giving you information on how to purchase a house. We're going to be showing you the proper ways and showing you the steps on how to purchase a house successfully. Because we want to see everyone become a homeowner this year.
Yes, most definitely.
And Tanya, she's going to be doing the budgeting and the credit side because that all ties together when it comes to purchasing a home. So you got to have your budget right and you got to have good credit.
Yes.
Right? You got anything you want to add on that, Tanya?
Like I said, I'll be doing the budgeting and credit portion of it. If you don't know, I do have a YouTube channel and I do a lot of budgeting on my YouTube channel. And I did do a kind of like a little series when I was buying my house to show what I was budgeting for, how much I was saving for with every paycheck, the different things that I was saving for, because sometimes you just don't think of the things that you need to budget for. You know, budgeting for your appliances, if you're going to get new furniture, your down pay, because there's other things besides your down payment and your closing costs. So there's other things that you got to think about. Your moving expenses. Because I actually moved from Maryland back home to North Carolina. So I calculated my moving expenses. I calculated my storage expenses because I got my house built. So I knew it was going to be a couple of months before I could be in my house. So I had to put my stuff in storage. So there's a lot of things that went into that.
Right.
And you definitely want to want your credit to be right. You can get a house with at least a 580 credit score, but if you want a better interest rate, you want to get it as high as possible.
And what are some ways we can build our credit to get that high score?
Some of the things that some people may not know, which is a very good trick. I'm not gonna say trick or a hack because it's real. Every time you move and you might get credit from the address where you're at, that gets added to your credit report. So you may look at your credit report and see about 4 different addresses on there. You can get that deleted. And that will actually help raise your credit score. And actually, that's the first thing that you want to do before you start trying to repair your credit or build your credit back up. First thing you want to do is just look at your personal information and get that stuff off of there, because when you start to try to dispute things or anything like that, and if it's tied to an old address and you still got an old address on your credit report, they could probably come back and say it's verified. Whereas if you take that address off of your credit report, it may not come back verified because your address doesn't match with what they have anymore.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest things that could get you started on your credit repair journey. And right now you can get a free copy of your credit report every month. Before it was only once a year, but now because of the panorama and all that kind of stuff, you can actually get a free credit report every month.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Now it doesn't come with your credit score, so you will have to pay for your credit score. And I would suggest a place like Identity IQ. If you go to my link in my bio, I have a link to take you straight to Identity IQ, where you can look at all 3 of your credit scores for just $1. But I know a lot of people like to use Credit Karma. And I'm not gonna lie, I use Credit Karma too. But you have to understand that your Credit Karma credit scores are going to be a little bit different than like your FICO 8 score or something like that, or what the mortgage companies look at. So you want to keep that in mind when it comes to credit. I mean, it is kind of a good guide if you can't afford to pay for a system where you can look at your credit scores or whatever. You just want to pay for it one time. Because when I started out, I just paid for my credit scores one time. And I got all 3 of my credit reports. I got all 3 of my credit scores. So I set a game plan up and knew where I needed to go. So I only paid for that one time. I knew it was going to take me a couple of months to, get it going. So I started working on it. And after about 5 months, I paid for it again to see how far along I had gotten. But in the meantime, I did use Credit Karma just to see, if anything was moving, anything had got dropped off, anything like that.
Okay. Nice. So for someone who has no credit, someone who's just graduated high school, don't have anything in their name, what would be the best way to build their credit?
Well, if they have a parent or grandparent or aunt or something like that that's really good financially with their credit cards, they can ask them to become an authorized user on their credit card. That's
Okay.
one good way. And parents out there, if you have young kids, go ahead and put them on your credit cards as an authorized user about the age of 16. So when they graduate high school, they can come out of high school with good credit. But that's one way to build your credit. You can there are also self lenders. It's called Self. They actually have a secure credit card now too. I use them to help build my
Okay.
credit up as well. I think I have that link in my bio. I'm not sure, but check my bio. I might have that link. And
Okay.
get some maybe some secured credit cards
Okay.
and just start paying on them. Don't max them out. You only want to use
Right.
about 10% utilization. I know most people say 30%, but if you're really trying to go aggressively at building your credit up quickly, then you need to keep it under 10%.
Right. Right.
So, like, I'm helping my kids out, and I tell them, whenever you buy something, if you're at a store and you buy a piece of gum, or like my son does music, so I'm like, if you're at the record store and you buy a couple of records, use your credit card, take that money that you was going to use to buy those records and just go ahead and pay it off.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Because a lot of people, especially us, were not taught about credit. The only thing we knew about credit is that it was bad. And you can get a bad credit score quickly, but that's because we didn't learn how to use it. Credit can be a very good thing. I mean, very good
Right.
thing, because you're leveraging other people's money, what they call the OPM.
Right.
So you have to know how to manage your credit. That's where people get in trouble. They want to take vacations and ball out of control, and now their credit cards are maxed out and they can't pay it back because the minimum ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
If you have, even if you just have a $5,000 credit card and you done maxed it out and you paying the bare minimum of $100 a month, how long is that gonna take you to pay that back?
Exactly.
And then the mortgage companies or financial companies or whatever going to look at you like, oh, you can't manage your money, you can't handle the credit card, so we're not going to give you any more credit cards, we're not going to extend you any more credit.
Right. And the lenders would say, we're not going to give you a house if you can't manage your credit card.
Right.
So
That's definitely going to break, that's definitely going to drop your credit score. If your credit cards are maxed out, that is going to lower your credit score dramatically.
So
Or drastically, I should say.
what percentage do you want to stay under with your credit card?
I say 10% if you're trying to be aggressive and raise it fast. But a good place is 30%.
So if I have $1,000 credit limit, what's the most I can spend?
If you're being aggressive, I would say no more than $100.
More than $100.
Yeah, but if you just want to keep it, like if you already have good credit and you just want to maintain and keep it there, not drop it, you can stay at around 30%. So you can spend up to $300.
Okay. And I know some people, what they do is they'll buy something and then they'll put the credit card away and then they'll wait till they get the bill. Right? Have you heard of people
I
doing
would
that?
say, so there are two dates that you should really know about your credit card. That is the statement date and the due date. Now, if you're going hard in the paint and you're being aggressive trying to raise that credit score, I tell people, so let's say you can have $100 on your credit card. You have $1,000 credit card. You're staying under the 10% and you only spend $100 on it. So now you have your due date and your statement date. So what you can do is pay half by the due date. You want to pay it 2 days before the due date, because your due date is always the minimum, right? So if you have $100 balance, you probably will only owe $20
Right.
for your due date. So you can do it one or two ways. If you don't want to pay like any interest at all, you can pay the whole thing off by the due date.
Okay.
If you want to show that you're making more payments but still have everything paid off by the time the statement date comes, because the statement date is when they report to your credit bureaus, then you can pay $50 by the due date, $50 by the statement date.
Okay. mentioned secured credit card. Can you explain the difference between secure and unsecured credit card?
Yes. So unsecured credit card, let's take for example again the $1,000 credit card.
Right.
That's totally on the card that's coming from the lending institution where you got the card from. So when you get the card, you have $1,000 of credit that you can use. A secured card means, okay, well, we don't trust you enough to have a regular credit card, but if you put $200 into this card, we'll give you a $200 card. Or you can put $500. You're basically using your own money to establish your credit. It's almost like a I don't want to say a savings account, but you're basically using your own money to build your credit. So I can get a secured card, and let's say like one of the secured cards I used was First Premier, a semi-secured card. I don't suggest First Premier because they have like you want to be careful about the cards that you get because a lot of them have that very high interest. Some of them have crazy fees, but because I was attacking my credit aggressively and raising it really fast, I was doing everything. I didn't care about the fees. I didn't care about the interest because I was going to pay it off anyway before the interest hit. But with my First Premier card, I gave them $200 and the card limit was $400. So when they sent me a card, I only had $200 on the card because I kind of had used $200, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I gave them $200 of my own money. And then most cards, when you keep it up and you show that you're managing your credit card really good, they'll give you a deposit back. And then it'll be a straight regular credit card.
Okay.
But a secured card will really help you if you don't have the credit to get a regular credit card.
Okay.
And you can start off with like $100, $200. I think some of them have a minimum like $100. And you can get I think Capital One has a secured credit card, I believe. That's I think $200.
Right. So what is your take on getting credit cards from like stores? Like when you go to Macy's and they offer you a discount, you use their credit card. What is your thoughts on that? On stores like JCPenney?
I would say not to get store cards.
Okay.
Unless you're being very strategic about it. Now, I did use Fingerhut. I know a lot of people probably heard of Fingerhut. And I use what's the jewelry company I used? I think it's called My Jewelry Store.
Okay.
And so they will give you an unsecured line of credit.
Right.
So I would just purchase one thing, pay it off, and wait maybe 2 months before I purchase something else. Because to me, their stuff is higher than the normal price of what you could buy it for. Because they're specifically there for you to use to help raise your credit score.
Right.
So
okay.
With that, but I wouldn't suggest getting too many store cards like JCPenney or anything like that when you're trying to build your credit. Now, if you're already established and have good credit and you can manage them store cards without walking in there and going on a $2,000 shopping spree, I say go for it if you want to. But when you're trying to build your credit to at least 700, because I tell everybody your goal is to at least get a 700. And the reason why I say that is because everybody with good credit should have a business. Because you can now utilize personal credit and you can utilize business credit. The good thing about business credit, it doesn't show up on your personal credit report. However, you will have to use your Social Security number to secure the credit cards. Because if you do default on those credit cards, it will report to your personal credit. But if you don't default or anything, you're keeping your personal and your business separated. So the good thing about the business credit is that since it's not on your personal, it's not looking at your utilization. It's not looking at your balance. So you can max some business cards out. I can get $25,000 business card, go find me a house, pull cash off that card, and let's say I find a $100,000 house. And most of the time when you get an investment property or something like that, they want you to put 20% down. So that means that's going to be about $20,000. But if you have that business card that's $25,000, you can pull that $20,000 off of that card to put down on that investment property, and it has nothing to do with your personal credit. So the property won't show up on your personal credit report. It won't see that you used that $20,000 on that credit card. It won't worry about how much you have to pay back. It won't worry about your debt to income ratio or anything like that.
Okay. Interesting. For someone who maybe has a little hesitant on getting a credit card, would that be like another option for someone to build their credit?
You definitely need at least one credit card, but you can go out and get like a car loan. You could get like maybe a furniture loan, but they want to see you have a mix of different things on your report.
Okay.
The better the mix, the better it is. The better it shows that you know how to manage your credit and that you can handle all different types of credit.
Right. That is true. Now, someone that's struggling to, I guess, make their payments, what is something that someone can do outside their 9 to 5?
You know what I'm going to say.
This question was set up for you.
You better get you a side hustle. You better get you a side hustle or another job where you can work from home. Like I had what I did, I was probably working 2 jobs and like maybe doing 2 or 3 side hustles, I think. But I didn't do anything strenuous because I'm like, okay, I'm already working a 9 to 5. I don't want anything else to be that strenuous. So one of my side hustles was I love to craft. So I would do craft shows like every other weekend and sell my crafts. I was also, what else was I selling? I was selling something. Oh, I was in Pure Romance. I was selling that. I had a little job that I worked 3 nights a week after I got off of work. That was easy breezy. All I did was answer the phone and do a survey. That's all I was doing. So even though I did actually have to go into an office. This was like pre-COVID. I did actually have to go into the office, but like I said, it was easy. So I didn't think of nothing of it. I didn't have any little kids, and then I came out with my work from home and side hustle book, and a lot of like moms was saying, they don't have time to go outside the house and work another job. They got the kids, blase, blase. And I was like, okay, well, I got a couple of things in there where you can, after you put the kids to bed, work a side hustle, work one of those work from home jobs, because there are a lot of companies that hire you to work at night. There's a company I have in my book where you can be a QVC rep. QVC is 24/7. So you can basically make your own hours. Like my cousin, when my cousin bought my book, she got a job there. And she was working, I think like 9 to 12. And she loved it. She said all she did was just sit there and take orders. And she worked from home. So she just sat there and took orders. Now, she did the wrong thing with it because every time they had a sale, she was buying stuff because they got a deep discount. I said, wait a minute, you're supposed to have a job to get out of debt. But and also just cut back on unnecessary stuff. It might be you don't have to shop all the time. Some people are really shopaholics. Like, some people eat when they stress, some people shop when they're stressed. And that's how some people get in trouble with their credit cards and stuff like that. That's where you have to learn how to manage a credit card, because if you can't manage a credit card, you don't need a credit card. But you just have to learn how to budget, and that's what I'll be talking about at the workshop too. Learn how to budget your money.
Wait a minute, that's my next question.
Oh. I always tell anybody that I help when my clients come to me for budgeting advice and I see that they're in debt and they're spending this, my number one thing is okay, you need another job or a side hustle, and we're gonna turn that into a business. And then you also here's where you need to cut back at.
Okay. Okay. So my next question was, what is budgeting and why is it so important?
Budgeting is basically just money management. Because I know I always hear this and I cannot stand this phrase. You cannot budget but what they say, budgeting will not make you rich, right? I hear that all the time. But I'm like, okay, but you still have to manage your money because you're the one that's hitting me up saying can I borrow $20 for gas, but you just got paid like I got paid. So that means you're not managing your money. I see it time and time again. I see I'm not gonna say no names, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, so this situation, this person, like we would get paid because we worked at the same job at one time. We would get paid. She would go straight to go get her nails done, get her hair done, go shopping. She would treat herself out to eat and all this kind of stuff. And a week later, she would be asking us for gas money. Or a week later, she would ask to borrow money to help pay her car note. Yes, Lee, tracking your expenses. And I'm like, okay, that means you don't know how to manage your money, because I tell people all the time when they say, if only I had $1 million. Okay, if you had $1 million, you'll be broke too. Right. Because if you can't manage $1,000, you can't manage $1 million. Right. How do you think a lot of these athletes go broke? Or a lot of people who win the lottery go broke? They're not managing their money. Right. I'm not like now I used to watch, well I still do. I like watching Dave Ramsey and Susan Orman and David gosh, I can't think of David's last name. I'm not super strict like how Dave Ramsey is, because I'm not eating no beans and oodles and noodles just so I can save some money to get out of debt. That's not me. I like to take trips. I do like to go out to dinner. I like a good happy hour sometimes. But budget, what they call it, I'm balling on a budget. I'm not really balling, but but I'm getting things done on a budget. Like when I take a vacation, I'm planning that vacation like 6 months ahead of time. And I'm saving. I'm thinking about what I might need on vacation. I'm thinking about the airfare, the hotel, the food. If I want to buy me some new clothes or sandals or something when I go on vacation. I'm thinking about all that ahead of time, which means, okay, maybe I might need to work a little overtime. Or I might need to step up my game on my side hustle, wherever I'm going to pull that money from. Because I like to, when I do things or want to do things, I don't like using the money that I already have, if that makes sense. I don't like pulling from my savings because I don't like seeing my savings go down. I'd rather work a little harder to save that money to put into my vacation envelope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good. And are you still doing your I know at one point you were going live and you were putting certain funds towards certain things. The envelope stuffing. You're still doing that?
I haven't done a YouTube in a minute, and what's crazy is I was on I think I had posted a YouTube short while I was showing one of the latest work from home places that I found, because I like to post those too. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, I like that one, but when you coming back to do your cash stuffing?"
Okay.
So I have slacked on that a little bit, but I'm gonna get back into it. I think it's because I kind of moved away from the cash envelope system a little bit and started using my credit cards. Because the reason why I'm doing that, like I said, one, to build credit, to show that I'm using my credit cards and know how to use them wisely. But now I have good credit cards that have reward points on them.
Right.
So it's almost like I'm using my money twice.
Okay.
So like say for instance, if I know that like I know my regular bills have to be paid every month. So I'm gonna budget my bills and I'm gonna have the money to pay for that. So if I know I have my $200 to pay, like let's say for instance my light and gas bill, I can use my credit card to pay that, get the points on the credit card, use the money that I already budgeted for that, take that money and pay the credit card. So I let my money work twice for me. I just got a check from one of my credit card companies for 600 and something dollars because of all the reward points I had on it. So I'm letting my money work twice for me and also building my credit at the same time.
Right. That's good.
I'll probably talk a little bit about that at the workshop too.
Okay.
Making your money work twice for you when you're using credit cards. But like I said, you just have to know how to manage the credit cards. Because some people see, oh, I got a $5,000 credit card. I'm gonna get this, and this. No, you can't do that. You have to be disciplined. Don't let your eyes get big when you see that you done got a $5,000 credit card, a $10,000 credit card, or something like that. Because what you're doing is you're building and building and building until you can get to the point where you can pull like $2,500 off of a personal credit card and go buy a vending machine, and now you use your credit to have a business that's going to bring you in money. Because that's what I'm telling people, that's the ultimate goal. You want to build your personal credit, at the same time get your business and build your business credit, and then once your credit score hits at least 700, you in there. You in there. But have a game plan before you spend it though.
Oh yeah.
Or before you get it. Have a game plan.
Yep. Now, explain the cash stuff for people who never watch one of your YouTube videos. Explain how that works.
Okay, so the cash stuffing envelope system is a system that I learned from Dave Ramsey, and I cannot think of the other David guy. His name is David too. He's a cute little thing. But what it is, it's supposed to help you not spend as much money, because the concept is if you're looking at the cash, you're going to be slower to spend that $100 bill than to swipe that debit card and spend $100. Because you're like, oh, I got it in the bank. Let me swipe. But if you look at it leaving your hands, it might resonate to you that you may not want to spend it. Because I know a lot of times I'm like, I don't want to break my 100, or I don't want to break this 20. And then what you do is I use a paycheck to paycheck budget, which means that I pay myself. Well, now since I work for myself, I pay myself bi-weekly, like I always have when I worked. I pay myself bi-weekly. So I do my budget bi-weekly. And what I do is I budget out everything. I see how much cash that I need, the things that I need to leave in the bank, I just leave in the bank, but I still budget it out. So everything I leave in the bank are like my main bills, like, my mortgage, my lights, water, all that kind of thing. Right. What I pull cash out for is stuff like my groceries. So I have my cash envelopes, and then I have my sinking funds envelopes. So the difference with cash envelopes and sinking funds envelopes is cash envelopes is something that you're going to use all the time, like gas, groceries. I got my lottery in there. Don't judge me. And you got to be in it to win it. I have my charity donations in there, and then my sinking funds. Sinking funds are funds that you may need every now and then. Like I have a sinking funds for beauty, which means maybe I need my hair products and things like that. I have a sinking funds envelope for clothing. If I want to save up $5 every pay period to save for clothing that I might need. Like I said, if I want some new clothes for vacation or something like that. I was sinking funds for my Christmas spending. I start at the top of the year saving for Christmas. So it's just different things like that where you're saving and you're building. Like my sinking funds build until I use it, and then I just keep building. And so I have the cash in there to spend the cash when I'm out shopping, so that I'm not pulling out that debit card. Matter of fact, I have stopped using my debit card altogether because if I need to use a card, I'll use a credit card.
Okay.
So I don't touch my debit card anymore.
Same. So when you're doing your cash stuffing, right, and when you pay yourself bi-weekly, how do you know which cash to add to which envelope? Like, how do you know the amount of cash to add to each envelope?
It's totally up to you. So everybody's budget is going to be different. Like Christmas, for instance, I usually say I spend about $1,000 for Christmas. So if I know I spend $1,000 for Christmas, and I usually say I don't save up till Christmas, I save up till Thanksgiving, because I do a lot of shopping during Black Friday. So since I know that's when I'm going to spend the bulk of my money, I say I need my $1,000 by the week of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then I work my way backwards to see how much I need to put in my envelope every pay period. Which I think I'm putting like $50 in my envelope every pay period for Christmas. Things where I know I don't use a lot of, like let's say clothing, because I really don't need to keep buying a whole bunch of clothes because I work from home and stuff. So I might put $5 in there every pay period. With my hair products or whatever, I might put in there like maybe $10 per pay period. Household items, I might put about $10 per pay period. And my groceries. See, like I said, everything is a little different because my mom and my daughter lives with me. So we all go in on groceries. We all go in on household products. So I don't have to budget as much as if I was by myself. So you just have to figure out your own budget and where you need. And the first thing that you need to do when you budget is you need to sit down first, put down everything that's coming in, every job that you have, every side hustle that you have, whatever your child support, whatever you have coming in, put down all the income that you have coming in. And then on the other side, write down every expense that you have. And the best thing to do is take around like a little notebook and take it around for a week. And every time you spend some money, write it down. You will be surprised how much money you spend, especially, before everything happened. I realized I was spending too much money at work because we had the soda vending machines, we had the snack vending machines, we had a cafe upstairs. So I get to work. Sometimes I'm having breakfast, lunch, snack, and sodas at work. And when I'm thinking about I'm spending like $10 a day, I'm like, what? I spent like $40, $50 this week at work? I don't know. So I started meal prepping. I was bringing my own snacks, stuff like that. So if you track your expenses for a week or two, that's when you can start working on your budget to fully see where you can cut down at. Because a lot of people realize they're spending more than what they have coming in. And that's why they're living paycheck to paycheck all the time. And there's only one or two things that's going to help that. Either you have to drastically cut, or you have to get an additional job or side hustle. And I usually tell people do both.
Right.
If you're deep in the hole and deep in debt, you need to do both.
That's true. Now, you were doing the money challenge.
Mm-hmm. Right? The savings challenge. I still do.
Right. Tell us how that works.
So you should have told me you were gonna have these questions for me. I would have had my stuff prepared so I could show y'all. You're gonna make me run real quick to go get my stuff. Right now I do four savings challenges. So one of the savings challenges that I do is called the 100 cash envelope savings challenge, where by the end of the year you should have a little over $5,000 saved.
Okay.
And you can put that towards your mortgage, towards a principal. Tell them that you want to make an extra payment, put it towards a principal to bring that down. I was putting it towards my student loans, but ever since they paused that, I hadn't put anything towards that because I'm hoping mine gonna get forgiven. But that's a whole other story. But if you have a mortgage, I would suggest putting it towards your mortgage payments. Telling you want it going towards principal only. If you don't have a mortgage yet, I would suggest putting it in a savings account that's going to go towards your down payment and your closing costs for a house. This is where you're going to save. You need at least an emergency fund. You need at least $1,000 in an emergency fund. So if you don't have that yet, that's the first savings account that you need to start saving for. You need at least $1,000 emergency fund. Then after you got your $1,000 emergency fund, then you want to start saving for other things. For like, if you have little kids, maybe start saving for their college tuition. You want to start saving towards retirement. Speaking of retirement, if you are with a company that matches, you better have a 401k.
I know that's right.
I know a lot of people talking about, 401k don't give you as much money and it has restrictions and requirements. And all. Okay, I'm not telling you put all your money in the 401k. What I'm saying is at least put in up to the match of what your company is going to match, because that's free money. Y'all better get that free money. So if your company matches, let's say 3%, then only put up to that. And then the rest you can put in a Roth IRA or other investment vehicles that's going to make you some money. Just do your research about the different savings vehicles, retirement vehicles that's going to give you the best interest for you. Because a regular bank savings account, no. The only thing you need in a regular bank savings account is your $1,000 emergency fund, something you can get quickly, and then maybe your money that you're saving for a down payment or something, because you don't want to lose that money. Like right now with the stocks and stuff, I lost $2,000. That might not be a lot to other people that had a lot to lose, but that's a lot to me. So I have no choice but to sit there and let it ride. Now, what if I was trying to use that money to try and hurry up and make some money for my to get in a house or something? That's not gonna work. For anything that you need to use in the next 6 months to 1 year, don't put it in anything risky. You need to just get a savings vehicle, like you can do a
CD.
Yeah, a CD. Because they have like 6-month CDs, 1-year CDs. I mean, still not a whole lot of interest, but at least you're going to get a little more interest than what your savings account is going to get you. And then you'll be able to touch that money without penalty or anything like that, without paying taxes or anything like that.
Right. Lisa says her job doesn't match. So if your job doesn't match, then you can always go with a Roth IRA.
Right.
Is that right now stocks are not doing too good?
Nope.
I know you said you lost 2,000. I lost 1,000. Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't have see, and then when something like that happens, people get scared and pull their money out. Don't pull your money out, because that's definitely a loss. You're just gonna have to sit there and ride it out. It might take 2 years. It might take 5 years, but it will bounce back.
Right.
And actually, this is the time to buy more.
Right.
While everything is low, this is the time to buy more. And just ride it out.
That's true. Ride the wave. I know that's. So I know you also talk about business credit, right? For those that want to turn their side hustle into a business, just give a brief description of how they can get started on doing that.
The basics is really have your business address, have your business phone number, get you You don't necessarily have to have a website, but get you a web domain and get like a free page from Wix or something. That's like a little landing page that just gives your company information. Um,
Okay.
get your EIN number. Get your get registered with the Secretary of State. Um, do not be a sole proprietorship. Create an LLC or S corp or C corp partnership, whatever. LLC is going to be the easiest to create. So register with your Secretary of State as an LLC. Get your, like I said, get your EIN number. Get your DUNS number. The DUNS number is what's going to basically be with the business credit bureaus. It's almost like a you can look at the EIN number and the DUNS number as almost like the social security number of your business. That's how your business credit is going to follow you with your DUNS number and your EIN number.
Okay.
Um, and that's basically it to set your business up. That's basically all you need to set your business up. And then to
Okay.
start building the business credit, you want to start off if now I teach two ways to get into business credit. If you have good credit, you can go the fast way.
Right.
But if you have bad credit or no credit, you can still build business credit. It's just going to be a slower pace, but you can build it still without using your social security number. Now,
Okay.
if you don't want it the fast way and go ahead and get all this business credit, business loans, and stuff like that, you're going to have to do what we call PG, which is personally guaranteed, which just means you put your social security number up. But it's not going to be reported on your personal credit. And also the good thing about it is that when they when anytime anybody pulls your personal credit, it's an inquiry on your report, and it can bring your credit score down.
Yeah.
With business credit, you can remove that inquiry
Nice.
because it's business. Technically, you can remove personal inquiries too, but you don't want to you don't want to remove any inquiries that are attached to a personal account.
Okay.
If the inquiry is not attached to a personal account, you can get it removed. It may take you some time, but just call those credit bureaus and tell them, look,
Yeah.
I don't recognize this inquiry, and it's not attached to any account that I have. You need to remove it. If one say no,
Okay.
call back, ask the next person. Ask to speak to the fraud department. Tell them you don't know anything about this inquiry. It's not attached to any of my accounts. You need to remove it.
Mm-hmm.
But only do that with inquiry that's not attached to a personal account.
Okay.
But business inquiries, you can get them removed even if you got that business credit card because it's business, it's not personal.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of business credit. Like I said, it's not um, it doesn't report to your personal credit report. So you can max it out. I don't suggest maxing it out unless you have a game plan. But you can max it out and your personal credit, it won't affect your personal credit. You can you can have the high utilization and it won't affect your personal credit. So that's the good thing about business credit.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Now, for those that are just tuning in, this is Tanya Gemini. She's going to be guest speaking at my homeownership presentation on Saturday, July the 30th, and it's going to be the Holiday Inn. The address is 1400 Oaks Drive, Raleigh, North Carolina. I have all that information on the flyer, so you can inbox me and I'll get you a flyer. It's open to the public. It's free. You do not have to sign up. So with this event, we're going to be showing you the steps on how to properly purchase a home, right? I'm going to be going over the steps, and Tanya, she's going to be talking about the budgeting and the credit side because it all ties into one when you want to become a homeowner. So we just want to see everybody become a homeowner this year. So save the date, Saturday, July 30th. will be at the Holiday Inn, open to the public. I have light refreshments, and we will have realtors there. So you can speak to a realtor one-on-one so you can get the ball rolling as far as getting into a house. Now, I do want to say this. When it comes to applying to loans, there are four primary loans. You have your conventional loan, you have your FHA loan, you have your USD loan, and a VA loan. So at this event, I'll break down these different types of loans and why you should go with either or. Okay? So I'm excited. Tanya, I hope you're excited.
I'm excited. Y'all come on out.
It's going to be a great event. I've been planning and working on this event now for about 3 months. I've been doing my homework, and I'm excited. I'm just looking forward to sharing this good information with you.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event.
If you have a home and you're looking into refinancing the house, you want to come out to this event as well, because I'll be giving you tips on how to properly refinance your house to get the best interest rate. All right? So, Tanya, quick question before we end this live. Why do you think it's important to become a homeowner? And do you think, with the market that we're in, do you think it's still best for renters to become homeowners?
Yes. Now there is some trouble going on with the market. It's very, very hard for first-time homeowners to get something, because all the investors are pouncing on everything. So you have these big hedge fund companies that's buying like 100 houses at a time, and they're going like $20,000 over asking price. And a normal first-time home buyer is not able to do that. One, because they don't have the money or had the pre-qualification for that amount. And then two is that when you're going through, when you have to get a loan, you have to get an appraiser to come out. And if the appraiser doesn't appraise that house for how much you're asking for, you're not going to get that amount in a loan. So that's how investors are beating these people out, because they're paying cash for these houses. And it's just making it very difficult for them to purchase a house. But I will say this, because of the inflation and recession and all that's going on, these landlords are raising rent. And everything is going up and up and up except for your pay. So I don't know how they think these people are going to be able to afford all of this stuff. I think it's getting ready to like maybe even out in probably like a year. Where, you know, first time home buyers will be able to really get back in the game. And I believe that people are going to start, I know some builders that are getting ready to start building like affordable housing. Now, let me say this. A lot of stuff they're building is not affordable. I don't know who they're looking at for affordable housing. Like there's a, where is this place? I think it's this new place that's being built up in Zebulon, I believe. I think it's Zebulon or Wendell. And they're calling it affordable housing, but the houses are starting at $220,000. But that's the idea of affordable. But some of them are specifically geared towards first-time home buyers. They're not letting investors come in and get it, which is good. So I'm telling first-time home buyers, just hold on. I think it's going to get better. And just use this time to build your credit up more, to save up more money. Because the more money you can put down, there's what's that thing called, the something and insurance, oh my gosh, it's PMI. Yeah, PMI. The more you can put down, you might not have to pay that PMI. So don't get discouraged. Just look at this as a time where you're going to build that credit up and you'll be able to save more. So I say just hold on. I think things are going to start evening out. Unfortunately, I think there's going to be a big crash in foreclosures with the moratorium being lifted, and people have to go back and start paying their mortgages, paying their rent, and stuff like that. People are still being affected by what's going on, and it's sad to say that some people may lose their house. Um,
Right.
so I think you have to prepare for that. People that are already in houses, you need to be prepared for that.
Right.
People that hadn't had to pay rent all this time, you need to be prepared because you're getting ready to have to start paying rent, and rent is going up.
Right.
What used to be $1,000, these people are raising to $1,200 and $1,300 like that. And so
Right.
now,
Right.
before you was barely paying $1,000, now you got to come up with an extra $200-$300.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
I'm
true.
just telling everybody, y'all have to be prepared because it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
And I'm glad you said that. And that's one of my reasons why I want everyone to become a homeowner and get a fixed rate, right? Because your mortgage is not going up and down unless like taxes go up or your insurance go up. But that's not going to be $200, $300. That's going to be maybe $10, $8. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I want everyone to become a homeowner, because you can manage your finances a lot better when you own a home, because you know how much you're going to be paying each month and each year versus living in an apartment versus renting. Because when you're renting, like you said, the landlord can go up on your rent every year. So it's just not stable in my eyes. So I want you to become a homeowner. I want you to get a fixed rate. And yeah, you can do it. Like
Yeah.
you said, Tanya, start running your credit, start saving for your down payment, so you not have to pay that EMI. You don't want to pay that. But I will say this: PMI is not bad. PMI just stands for private mortgage insurance. It's an insurance that protects the lender. So if you default on your house, the lender doesn't lose any money, right? So you only have to pay PMI if you don't put 20% down.
Right.
That's for the conventional loan. And I'll talk more about this at the end. I'm just giving you little tips here and there. So you want to build at least 20% equity into the house, and that's why you want to put 20% down on a house. So if the house is worth $100,000, you want to save up to $10,000, right? So just keep that in mind when you're out there house hunting, house shopping. And yeah, like I said, I just want to say everyone become a homeowner this year, and you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tanya, it's almost been an hour.
Yep, I don't want to abruptly shut off on us. Hope y'all got some good information out. Come out and join us for the homeowners workshop. We're going to be there a couple of hours. You'll be able to ask your questions. We'll go over some more information. And hope we get you enough information where you can go ahead and get your house.
Right. And if you have a house, we'll give you information on refinance.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a big topic as well. All right. So before we end this live, Tanya, how can my followers follow you?
I am Tanya Gemini on all platforms except for Instagram, Tanya Gemini 1. But on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, I'm Tanya Gemini. Instagram, Tanya Gemini 1.
Alrighty. And one more time, Tanya, where can they find us on July 30th for the homeownership?
Say it again.
I said one more time, where can they find us on July 30th for the homeownership?
Oh, the Hilton. The Holiday. Oh, Lord, not the Hilton. Holiday Inn. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, we're gonna
Holiday Inn. From 3 to 6.
We'll start at 3 o'clock. So before me and Tanya go, does anyone have any questions? Lisa, thank you for the information. You are so welcome.
You're welcome.
And we're going to have a lot more. We're going to give you more details on July 30th. And we will start at 3 p.m. I have light refreshments, and I can't wait to see you there.
Yep. See you guys there.
All
I'll
right.
make sure I bring my budgeting book so y'all can see them.
Yeah, bring the budget books. And I will have my PowerPoint too, so I'll have that up and ready for y'all to see.
All right then, y'all. We will see y'all later. We'll probably try and come on, about maybe once a week, Richard?
Yeah, let's try to do this once a week to get everybody pumped up and ready.
Sounds good. You want to do it same day, same time?
Same day, same time.
All right, y'all. Meet us back here next Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Tuesday.
Come with your questions, just in case you can't come to the event.
Right. But I would prefer for you to come to the
Yeah,
event.
come to the event if you're in Raleigh. Come to the event.
All right, y'all.
All right, see y'all later.
Thank you again for everything.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Uh-oh. Bye, Instagram.
Bye.
Bye, Facebook. Bye, YouTube.